So guess what, Team Apathy? Another win! I don't know how it happened. I don't even want to ask any questions how it happened, but it did. So, yay us, right?
That's right, everyone. It's week 5 of Capping the Cup, and we have a tie. 2-2 is the breakdown so far over 4 weeks into the NASCAR season. We're at the new Atlanta track this week. And yeah, Marin's absolutely right. You know, last week, both of us had a highest finisher, P6, Kevin Harvick, at Phoenix. So we had to go to the next highest finishing cars. And for Marin, she ended up having P7. I ended up having a P8. So yes, that's correct. Team Apathy gets their first winning streak of the season.
Freeze frame.
It's interesting, it's been a really interesting season, and with this new track this week, it really makes things even more interesting. I can't lean on a lot of the typical metrics that I would normally look at. It's really not even, in my opinion, I didn't even look at historical data from the old Atlanta, just simply because we've got a brand new racetrack, and it's interesting style of racing. I mean, the truck race yesterday, Corey Heim gets the win. Kyle Busch Motorsports ran really well. Just not a lot of lead changes. It seems like it's hard at this track if you don't capitalize on your run. It seems really hard to pass. I mean, I looked at in the Xfinity race too. Ty Gibbs, by the way, just 11.5 units on the season. I mean, at this rate, he's going to be you're playing with house money on the Ty Gibbs train another win or two from now. So, but again, I mean, if you look at it, I looked at the truck race and the Xfinity race, and 5 out of the top 10, and each of them started in the top 10. It just seems like starting positions could matter. Normally, I never weigh that. Honestly, I believe any quality driver can come from the back, but either way, it brings us to Atlanta. So, I mean, we didn't have the luxury of having traditional qualifying with the rain out on Friday. So it gives us, really all you can really go off of is the practice times. I did take a look at some other variables, though. I mean, I think really it's buyer beware. Anyway, with that being said, this week, we got top 3. I got the 9. Got the 9 is my top bet here. He's plus 1,300, graded out really well throughout the different variables we looked at. Right next to him, I've got the 18 car Kyle Busch plus 1,000. And then rounding that out, it was interesting because Ricky Stenhouse Jr. really laid down a burner of a lap time. But when the metric graded out, the separation between him and Ryan Blaney for the top 3 was less than 0.2. And I mean, I can't in good faith advise Stickhouse in anything other than a value bet. So that's a top 3. And then for value, I mentioned Stenhouse is an option. But I'm looking realistic at that 8 car of Tyler Reddick, just very consistent this season, very consistent in practice at Atlanta. He's plus 1,600. If you're telling me, 16-1 on Tyler Reddick is pretty damn good for this track. And, the next 3 shook out for me. Kind of the same vein. I mean, I'm looking at Daniel Suarez. I mean, a lot of people might be thinking Ross Chastain here, but Suarez plus 5,000. Chastain just did not grade out well. He did not. His car didn't seem to be tuned out the way his teammates is. So there you have it. There's my 5. Kick it over to Marin with the 2-week win streak. Who do you got this week, Marin?
So my vibe is saying Blaney is one.
Okay. We talked about Ryan Blaney. He's plus 950.
Okay. And my next one is going to be, what about Chase Elliott? I haven't picked him for anything, I don't think.
Okay. I mean, that means really you're going to be putting all your eggs in one basket if you go and pick two out of the same identical drivers that I chose here.
Well, then let me throw.
This last car is going to matter quite a bit.
Let me throw a wrench in this because I'm all about throwing wrenches in, and you know my apathy vibes are kicking into high gear. So what if we go with Briscoe?
Wow, so you actually think that Chase Briscoe is going to go back to back?
Well, here's my thing. Briscoe sounds like brisket. And in Atlanta, I had a very good brisket a while back. So I'm going to go with Briscoe.
Wow. Interesting logic. I actually got to scroll down pretty far to find him. Here he is. I mean, so Chase Briscoe, last week's winner, is plus 1,800. Not to give away too many keys to the castle here, but I mean, you're talking about a guy that graded outside the top 20 in every metric that we used. So if Chase Briscoe wins this, Marin and I will be headed immediately to the casino, and we'll be submitting some heavy wagers on the roulette table. So, wow, okay, so Marin, did you want to throw in a couple value picks just to make things interesting this week? I mean, you do have two of the same drivers as me, or do you just...
Yeah, so let me throw in some value picks here because, yeah, we shouldn't line up too much, but, you know, my vibe is my vibe. I can't change my vibe. So let's throw in Logano.
Okay, so calling Logano a value pick, not sure exactly how I would do that. He is plus 1,200. He's more of a favorite, but we'll bring him in as one of your value picks just in case we need to get to another tiebreak situation.
Sounds good.
And your final value pick, just for if we need to go to a tiebreaker.
Okay. How about... And now I'm just kind of looking at the list because I don't really know who they are right now. How about Kurt Busch?
Kurt Busch, actually, I think, let's go track where he graded out for us. I think that Kurt, surprisingly, actually didn't grade out that highly, but I think it could just be that Kurt didn't really lay down a lot of times in practice. I think if you look at his average running position this year, he's absolutely a threat, and I think he's starting up in the top 5. So,
is he?
So there you have it. There's the picks for New Atlanta. And everybody, wish y'all the best of luck.